In the third year of our secret marriage, my wife and her moonlight first love flaunted their relationship, so I voluntarily asked for divorce, and she went crazy. In that year of pure love, Sue Mushua was abandoned by her first love, and I fell head over heels for her. I accompanied her through the dark clouds of heartbreak, and step by step, I rose from being a nobody to achieving success and fame. She became a powerful and glamorous female boss, and I was willingly her devoted servant. Even when she said we should keep our marriage secret to avoid affecting her work, I had no complaints. Until her first love returned to the country, and they openly displayed their affection. And repeatedly, she gave him credit for my hard-earned achievements to build his reputation, while I was asked to take the blame for countless mistakes made by her first love. Finally, heartbroken, I refused Sue Mushua's demands. She threatened me with divorce. But what she didn't know was that a month earlier, we had already signed divorce papers. On our third wedding anniversary, Sue Mushua brought her cherished love interest Lu Lingxiao to the hospital. Everyone, please put your work aside for a moment. I have an important announcement to make. This is the recently returned industry expert Lu Lingxiao, whom I worked very hard to invite here. He will be the new plastic surgery department director. Everyone, please welcome him. After saying this, she took the lead in applauding, with undisguised affection in her eyes. Everyone looked bewildered and whispered among themselves. I've never heard of an expert named Lu Lingxiao. Yeah, coming in directly as a director, could he be Ms. Sue's? Their eyes met, revealing hints of amusement. The intern who was speaking suddenly nudged my arm and lowered her voice. Dr. Pei, your contributions to the hospital are evident to all, and your performance and skills are undeniably excellent. By all rights, the director position should be yours, shouldn't it? What's going on here? I shook my head indifferently. After the welcome ceremony ended, several female colleagues entered gossip mode and continued whispering complaints. The morals of society are deteriorating. Being good at your job isn't as important as being good in other ways. Director Sue's eyes might as well be glued to Dr. Lu's body. Anyway, the looks between them aren't innocent at all. They're practically drooling over each other. My colleague's discussion stabbed at me, making even breathing painful. I have been married to Sue Mushua for 3 years, yet she has never made our relationship public. Her reason was that romance between colleagues would affect work. And a month ago, she had already moved out of our marital home. That was also when Lu Lingxiao returned. At first, when I caught them coming and going together, she still made excuses. Pei Yiheng, you are disgusting. You think everyone is as filthy and despicable as you. We're childhood friends who grew up together. What's wrong with sleeping together? Later, she didn't even bother pretending anymore, showing off their affection all over social media. The intimacy was enough to make people click their tongues. Through bits and pieces of information, I finally learned that Lu Lingxiao was the one Sue Mushua had loved but couldn't have, her unattainable ideal. It was only then that I belatedly realized, when Lu Lingxiao abandoned her, perhaps to overcome the pain of heartbreak, or maybe despite Lu Lingxiao, she chose me. And I foolishly loved her for so many years, accompanied her from having nothing to achieving fame and success, gave her all the credit, willingly being her workhorse, even accepting a secret marriage without complaint. In the end, I turned out to be the clown. An impatient voice pulled me back from my thoughts. Pei Yiheng, what are you daydreaming about? Lingxiao just came back. You need to take good care of him. Do whatever he asks you to do. Before I could speak, she had already gracefully walked into Lu Lingxiao's office, casually closing the door and pulling down the blinds. Colleagues couldn't help but whisper excitedly. Those two definitely have something going on. Colleagues who were close to me looked at me with pity. Old Pei, see that? If you had gone to climb into CEO Sue's bed, perhaps this manager position would have been yours. Now you even have to serve as someone else's underling. Who said I never climbed it? I've climbed it more than once. Unfortunately, she doesn't love me. If I had seen this scene before, I would have rushed in and beat that bastard Lu Lingxiao to death. But now, it doesn't matter anymore, because Sue Mushua and I are already divorced. In a few days, the divorce cooling-off period will be over. After finishing the last surgery, I rubbed my aching back and left work to go home. When I passed by Sue Mushua's office, there was no one there. Lu Lingxiao's office was empty too. They were probably fooling around together somewhere. Suppressing the sourness in my heart, I drove home. The house was pitch dark. Looking at the empty house, I sighed helplessly. In all these years of marriage, I don't think I've ever eaten a meal cooked by Sue Mushua. Starving, I made some instant noodles. Just after finishing my meal, I received a call from my friend. Old Pei, are you going to keep degrading yourself at Sue Mushua's place? With your abilities, you should have already been the head of the hospital. Being the director would be well within your reach. Yet until now you're still just an ordinary doctor. What kind of person is that Lu Lingxiao? A loser who couldn't make it abroad dares to ride above you. Your medical skills deserve a better platform. As long as you come, you'll have the final say on medical matters, and I'll handle other trivial things for you. You just focus on performing surgeries. Whatever ideas you have, you can bring them up. Earlier, when I was accompanying Su Mushue in her entrepreneurial journey, that was when I loved her the most, unhesitatingly supporting her efforts. If she and Lu Lingxiao hadn't rekindled their old flame, I think I would have been willing to be just a small-time doctor for her all my life. But now, she doesn't deserve it. Besides, we're already divorced. After going through this, I finally understood. Someone who doesn't love you calculates everything. Even if you risk your life for her, she still won't love you. While I'm still in my prime, I should also make a good effort for my own future. Moreover, the conditions offered by the other party were truly tempting. I don't like scheming and plotting, but I genuinely love medical skills. All right, once I've taken care of my own affairs, I'll come to your place. Great, great, I'll be waiting for you. My friend excitedly hung up the phone. Where are you going? Su Mushua's puzzled voice sounded as she questioned me while changing her shoes. I calmly glanced at her. Northern Myanmar, telecom fraud. She let out a cold sneer. Ugly people really do cause trouble. Why would they scam you and no one else? Use your brain and don't get conned, dragging me and the company down with you. Her contemptuous expression stung my eyes. But the next second, her phone rang, and her previous harshness transformed. Her entire face bloomed into a smile. Her voice became unbelievably gentle. Hello, you're so naughty. Once I finish my business, I'll come right back. Wait for me, okay? No need to guess, it must be him. I didn't want to watch her acting all lovey-dovey. I quickly cleared the dishes and went back to my room. Su Mushua followed me inside and threw a document at me. This case took me tremendous effort to obtain. You must study it well and perform the surgery successfully. Success is the only option. Failure is not permitted. I opened the folder with confusion. Seeing the case details, I couldn't help but frown. This surgery was extremely difficult. The slightest mistake could put the patient's life at risk. Of course, I understood Su Mushua's intention in accepting this case. The more challenging it was, the more social attention it would receive, and the more the hospital's reputation would spread, and the more people would come for surgeries. But had she given any thought to whether I could actually accomplish it? If I failed, how severe would the impact be on my career? Seeing that I remained silent for a long time, she impatiently snatched the folder back. What? You're unwilling? Or are you saying you're not capable? Pei Yiheng, don't be ungrateful. Do you know how many hospitals fought for this case? I had to war hard to convince the patient to come to our hospital for treatment. If you weren't my husband, do you think it would be your turn to do this? If you can't even perform this surgery well, you don't deserve to be my husband, Su Mushua's husband. Husband? Looking at her cruel, twisted face, my heart sank to rock bottom. Until now, she still doesn't know that we're already divorced. Yes, the day I brought the divorce papers to her, she was passionately involved with Lu Lingxiao and signed without even looking. How desperate was she? How little did she care about my feelings? If Lu Lingxiao got even slightly hurt, she would be heartbroken, willing to book the entire hospital and hire specialists just to put a band-aid on him. While I was merely a tool for pursuing fame and fortune, with no regard whatsoever for my life or death. This time was no exception. Pei Yiheng, say something. Why are you playing dead? She shoved me hard, pointing at my nose while cursing. Don't be ungrateful. So many doctors in the hospital are begging for this case, and I pulled strings to save it for you. If you want to do it, then do it properly. If you don't want to do it, pack your things and leave, but once you leave, don't ever think about coming back. Think carefully about your decision. I couldn't help but sneer inwardly. No one would dare take on such a difficult and dangerous case. She was gambling with my career. Before I could answer, she asked with confusion, where did our wedding photos go? I calmly put away the folder. They might have fallen out after all this time. I took the frame to be repaired. She looked at me with disdain. Look at how incompetent you are. You can't even fix a picture frame. You drag your feet on everything. How long does it take to repair a frame? You have absolutely no efficiency. Someone like you would be nothing without me. Focus on studying the case and don't embarrass the hospital. After saying this, she slammed the door and left. See, when someone doesn't like you, everything you do is wrong. Before, I was insecure. She was a powerful female CEO, and I felt I had to work extremely hard to be worthy of someone as excellent as her. But now, I realize that's not the case. Lu Lingxiao's amateur kung fu skills are far worse than mine. She cherished it dearly. In the end, not loving is the original sin. Since they insist on giving this case to me, I'll respectfully comply. After all, when applying to other hospitals, this will be my stepping stone and my bargaining chip. More importantly, it's a human life at stake. The surgery is difficult, but I've always been willing to take risks and face challenges. It's not entirely impossible to achieve. So I locked myself in the simulation room, focusing completely on practicing the procedure according to the plan I created, over and over again. Again and again. And I failed. I started over from the beginning. For an entire week, I barely slept at all, until it became muscle memory. Because only this way could I be fast, precise, and decisive enough. Only this way could I fulfill my responsibility to the patient. During this time, Su Mushue didn't send me a single message of concern. On the day of the surgery, I fought tirelessly for 12 hours straight. At the moment it ended, I collapsed from exhaustion. When I opened my eyes again, it was already 2 days later. My close colleague looked at me with a complicated expression. I suddenly had a bad feeling. What's wrong? Was there a problem with the surgery? Yes and no. Seeing his hesitation, I became more anxious. What exactly happened? Tell me quickly. The surgery was very successful. Hearing this, I breathed a sigh of relief. After all, nothing was more important than that. But the credit went to Lu Lingxiao. CEO Su announced that he was the lead surgeon. So, in other words, I risked ending my career to make the man who betrayed me look good. How dare Su Mushue? How could she do this to me? Everything went black, and I fainted from anger. When I painfully regained consciousness, my philtrum was swollen. But I couldn't care less about that and hurriedly called Su Mushue, wanting an explanation. However, as soon as the call connected, indecent sounds came through. Without thinking, I knew what they were doing. Shameless. Brazen lust in broad daylight. Utterly disgraceful. I angrily hung up the phone. My colleague tried to comfort me with concern. Dr. Pei, don't be angry. Your health is more important. Ever since this Lu Lingxiao arrived, CEO Su has been revolving around him all day. Anything related to him, everyone has to make way for him. This time it's your bad luck. What can you do when he's the boss's darling? You can only swallow this injustice silently. But why should I? This time I must get a clear answer. How dare they treat me like this? I pulled out the 4-needle and rushed to the company. By the time I reached Su Mushue's office door, there was no sound from inside. I suppressed the anger in my heart and politely knocked on the door. Su Mushue's gentle voice came from inside. Lingxiao, come in directly, you don't need to knock. With me, you're always the exception. She really does dote on him. The moment she saw me, Su Mushue's face changed instantly like in Sichuan opera. Why is it you? I couldn't be bothered to play games with her, so I got straight to the point. I was supposed to be the lead surgeon, so why was it changed to Lu Lingxiao? Do you realize how much effort I put into this? How much risk I took? He didn't do anything. What gives you the right to credit him without my consent? She showed no guilt whatsoever, but rather sat with her leg crossed, looking down at me as. She blatantly lied. Lingxiao is your superior. How could a mere regular doctor like you possibly complete such a difficult surgery? Of course it was Lingxiao who did it. And that operation you performed resulted in even more severe facial damage to the patient due to your mistake. According to the contract, substantial compensation is required. Sign this compensation agreement and end this matter. She tossed a pre-prepared agreement at me. I looked at her in disbelief. Su Mushue, aren't you taking this too far? Not only are you giving someone else credit for my work, but you're also making me take the blame. Don't you know in your heart what the truth really is? Why are you treating me like this? Doesn't your conscience hurt? She impatiently interrupted me with a mocking smile. The truth is whatever I say it is. It's your honor to take the blame for Lingxiao. If you still want to continue working here, don't push your luck. It's just asking you to pay some compensation. Your savings over these years plus that apartment you bought should be enough. Looking at the calm and indifferent woman in front of me, I was furious. Su Mushue, that's the apartment I bought for my parents. They've worked hard their entire lives. If I sell it, are you expecting them to become homeless? That's just your fault for being incompetent. Who told you to mess up the surgery? I could never have imagined that the once bright and kind-hearted girl would become like this. Becoming a shameless, truth-distorting, vicious woman. Or perhaps this was her true face all along. Just as I was about to refuse, the office door opened. The moment she saw Lu Lingxiao, Su Mushue's hostile face bloomed into a flower. Lingxiao, come here. Then she glared at me viciously again. Get out, we'll talk about this later. I really don't want to see this garbage couple. After leaving, I quickly went to the monitoring room. As a result, the video of that day's surgery was missing. I then found the colleagues who performed the surgery with me. They avoided eye contact. Dr. Pei, finding a job isn't easy these days. We have elderly parents and young children to support. Please don't make things difficult for us. We don't know anything. Obviously, they had been threatened. It seems Su Mushue had planned this all along. She wanted Lu Lingxiao to rise by stepping on me. If he succeeded, the honor and status would be his. If he failed, I would certainly bear all the responsibility. If I stayed in this black-hearted, rotten company and continued to love that worthless Su Yu, then I would truly be mentally ill. I quickly wrote a resignation letter. I walked into Su Mushue's office. What I saw was Su Mushue straddling Lu Lingxiao's lap, the two of them kissing passionately. Seeing me enter, they didn't even try to hide it. Lu Lingxiao looked at me provocatively and continued to kiss Su Mushue until she was breathless. Turning her head and seeing me, Su Mushue had a moment of panic, followed by anger. Are you sick? Who let you in? I didn't bother wasting words with her. I simply placed my resignation letter on the desk. As I turned to leave, Su Mushue called me back. Pei Yiheng, you think you're special? Is this all the backbone you have, running away at the slightest problem? I have to say, Su Mushue is a master at psychological manipulation. Apparently, she wasn't stupid enough to give up on me, her high-value workhorse. But I wouldn't fall for it again. Sensing Su Mushue's intentions, Lu Lingxiao became restless. Dr. Pei's strategy of advancing by retreating is quite masterful. Provoked by his comment, Su Mushue exploded. Trying to manipulate me? Not a chance. Since you don't want to work, I'll grant your wish. You barely make any money anyway. Might as well stay home and be a house husband. Without hesitation, she signed and stamped my resignation letter. Everything was settled. Perfect. I took the resignation letter with a sense of relief. Family house husband? Not happening at all. Don't forget, we've been divorced for a while. A flash of secret delight crossed Lu Lingxiao's eyes, immediately followed by hypocritical mediation. Dr. Pei, why do you keep bringing up divorce? Are you trying to threaten IU? What a fake green tea. I ignored him. Su Mushue also unusually didn't respond to his comment. Instead, she said to him with a serious face, you should leave first. We'll resolve our marital issues ourselves. Lu Lingxiao froze, clearly not expecting to be dismissed like that. He shot me a resentful glance and slammed the door on his way out. Pei Yiheng, I know you're upset, but there's no need to bring up divorce whenever you're unhappy. Besides, I won't divorce you anyway. Look, you've been tired lately. I'll give you a few days off to rest properly. As for compensation, I'll figure something out to help you. This was her usual tactic. Slap first, then offer a sweet date. If I were to take this way out, she would continue to hurt me without restraint afterwards. Before, I loved her deeply. No matter how she treated me, I always pampered her and went along with her wishes. Over time, she took my tolerance for granted and became increasingly outrageous. If I can tolerate even this, what kind of man am I? Su Mushue, I'm definitely going through with the divorce, and you already signed the papers. Today is the deadline. From now on, you go your way, and I'll go mine. We'll have no more connection. That's impossible. I never signed anything. Su Mushue shouted in disbelief. When I showed her the electronic documents, she was completely stunned. Impossible. This must be photoshopped. I don't remember signing anything. Pei Yiheng, when did you learn to be so manipulative? Ing such despicable tactics just to get my attention. How are you any different from those concubines fighting for favor in ancient times? Aren't you ashamed? She continued to shout, refusing to acknowledge it. I really don't want to waste any more words talking to her. Whether it's real or not, we'll know after getting it authenticated. Pei Yiheng, you're really divorcing me? Who else will spoil you like this after we separate, giving you opportunities and resources? The worst thing is when people have no self-awareness. Tell a lie long enough, and you'll start believing it yourself. Who exactly was relying on whom? Time will reveal the truth. I took the letter and turned to leave, but she stopped me. She threw herself into my arms, hugging my waist tightly, whining coquettishly. Are you angry with me? Then I'll keep my distance from Lu Lingxiao from now on. Please don't divorce me, okay? I know I've been neglecting you lately. I'll make it up to you. I'll move back tonight. Or, if you want something more exciting, we can do it right now. She looked at me with seductive eyes, slipping her hand under the hem of my shirt. But I felt as disgusted as if I'd swallowed a fly. Before, as her husband, all I wanted was to be intimate with the woman I loved every day. But she kept me at 1,000 miles distance. She said that platonic love was true love. I loved her, so I respected her wishes. Married for 3 years, I remained celibate for 3 years, taking care of myself when I couldn't bear it anymore. But as soon as Lu Lingxiao came back, she immediately threw herself at him. At that moment I realized she simply didn't want any intimate contact with me. Now, how is she any different from a brothel worker? Seeing that I wasn't moved, she started to undo my belt. Husband, I'll take good care of you. I stopped her, pushing her away forcefully. Don't bother. I find it disgusting. Besides, we're already divorced. You can be with whoever you want. No need to hide anymore. Su Mushue's face turned deathly pale, clearly not expecting me to reject her so directly. As I was leaving the office, I ran into Lu Lingxiao coming in. He grabbed me as I was about to exit, his eyes red. Dr. Pei, please don't be angry. I know you resent me because my presence has caused Snow to neglect you. But don't worry, I'm leaving right away. Regarding work matters, I'm sure Snow has her own considerations. If both of you are very busy, then it would be difficult to balance family life. She's making these choices for your long-term harmony. In any case, all mistakes are mine. I shouldn't have come back, and I shouldn't have appeared before Snow. Snow, I'm sorry for causing you trouble. With tears in his eyes, he turned to leave. Su Mushue was heartbroken and pulled Lu Lingxiao behind her, then unleashed her fury at me. Pei Yiheng, how dare you compare yourself to Lu Lingxiao? You're not even worthy to shine his shoes. My willingness to support you shows my generosity, but I never expected you'd cause such drama. Take a look at yourself. You want to use divorce to threaten me? Dream on. Didn't you want to fuck off? Then get the fuck out of my sight right now, immediately. Without me, let's see who the hell would want you. Don't come crying back begging me to take you in later. Although I was already hurt beyond recognition, watching Sue Mushua humiliate me to protect another man still stung. Was she really so certain I wouldn't leave her? I may be devoted, but I'm not stupid. At this moment, all my love vanished completely. With a carefree smile, I turned and walked away. No matter how loudly Sue Mushua yelled behind me, I never looked back. After leaving the company, I went straight to the airport. Upon arriving in Nanjing, I immediately started my new job. My mind was filled with nothing but work. At first, everyone thought I got in through connections and looked down on me. Later, I successfully cleared my name through my exceptional medical skills. Plus, with my easygoing personality, I quickly earned my colleagues' recognition. We all fought side by side together, tackling one challenge after another. The hospital's reputation improved continuously thanks to my arrival. I also began to make a name for myself in the industry. Completely forgot about Sue Mushua and Lu Lingxiao, that disgusting couple. Perhaps it's only after losing something that one feels unwilling to let go. Or perhaps without me as her hard-working money-making tool, she became anxious. Sue Mushua's messages evolved from initial mockery and cursing to gradually softening her attitude. Ahang, it's been so long. You should have calmed down by now. At that time I was just angry and said a few harsh words to you. I apologize, okay? Besides, I've already kept my distance from Lingxiao. If you come back, we can be like before with me following your lead. I'll also make up double for my previous neglect of you. Then she sent several revealing photos. Lace nightgowns, uniforms, even completely unclothed. Looking at them made me want to vomit. So, I directly deleted and blocked her. She contacted me again using a new number. For each contact from her, I block one. No chance of disturbing my life again. I threw myself completely into work. The thrill of success made me want even more success. Indeed, career is the best tonic for a man. But I never expected that Sue Mushua, who had always looked down on me, would take the initiative to find me. I was somewhat surprised to see her. After just 1 month apart, she had aged considerably. Even the thick layer of powder couldn't hide her sallow complexion and dark circles. Husband, I finally found you. Can your body handle all these late nights performing surgeries? Why are you pushing yourself so hard? I don't know if it was my imagination, but I actually heard a trace of concern in her voice. This was truly like the sun rising from the west. I stepped back and spoke expressionlessly. Miss Sue, please show some self-respect. We're already divorced. Embarrassment flashed across her face, followed by a placating smile. Husband, I never took that seriously. I know you were hurt because of Lu Lingxiao, so I've come personally to take you back home. Look, without me taking care of you, you're working yourself to death like an ox or a horse. You'll eventually ruin your health. You've come all this way from home to be just a small assistant. Why put yourself through such hardship? We're husband and wife, one unit, and you should be a chief surgeon yourself. Sue Mushua continued on with her own assumptions. After working all night, I was eager to get home and catch up on sleep. If you have something to say, say it. Don't waste time with this nonsense. Ahing, how can you be so harsh with me? You never used to speak to me like this. She looked at me with a feigned hurt expression. It sent chills down my spine, and I quickly tried to escape. But Sue Mushua caught the edge of my clothes. Ahing, don't you love me anymore? No, you're just jealous of Lu Lingxiao. Don't worry, we're married, and I naturally have you in my heart. Don't be angry, come back with me. If you come back with me, I'll give you a promotion and a raise. Not only that, I'll also transfer some of the hospital shares to you, letting you rise up as your own boss. Look, here's your appointment letter from HR and the transfer contract I prepared for you. She tried hard to prove to me that she was sincere. Finally, she shyly promised. Haven't you always wanted to be a father? As long as you come back with me, I'll agree to everything. We'll take them to school together, pick them up together, go on outings together, travel the world together. We'll be the happiest family of 4 in the world. Once, I truly longed for this. Longed for a perfect little family. Whenever I hinted at or thought about this, she would ruthlessly reject or even mock me. You're a grown man with only this filth on your mind, not an ounce of ambition. How did I end up with such a useless person who won't amount to anything? At first, I would explain myself. As time went on, I became numb to it. But I was still naive enough to believe that love could overcome all difficulties. Even without children, as long as we worked together, we could still grow old sweetly. Unfortunately, I was never part of the future she had planned. Now she's being so insincere about all this. I don't believe it. It hasn't been that long. A person can't change this much. Besides, Sue Mushua was an extremely stubborn person who kept her word. When something's unusual, there must be a hidden reason behind it. Sue Mushua, let me tell you once more seriously. We're already divorced. I won't go back with you. and there's absolutely no possibility of having children. You loved Lu Lingxiao so much, and I granted you both your wish. From now on, you two live well together and stop bothering me." She looked at me in disbelief. After a moment of stunned silence, she still stubbornly blocked my way. "You're still angry about Lu Lingxiao? Don't worry, there won't be any Lu Lingxiao from now on. We'll remarry and happily live our own little life. Since you left, I've realized how much I love you, far more than Lu Lingxiao. I know I was wrong now, and I've completely cut ties with Lu Lingxiao. You're my only true love." As she spoke, she even started crying golden tears. She had moved herself to tears, but she was clearly lying. If she'd really cut ties, how could she not know I'd sold our marital home? I closed my weary eyes. I forcefully pulled my hand from her grip and walked away. Suddenly, an urgent voice called out to me. Director Pei, wait. The patient in bed 3 has woken up and is making a fuss about seeing you." I frowned. "Let's go take a look." "Director? You?" Su Mushue's words trailed off, her eyes filled with surprise. I scoffed coldly. "You've always known perfectly well what I'm capable of. Without your suppression, I can soar freely and rise straight to the top. Who is the flower? Who is the spring? Who truly can't live without whom? Haven't you always known clearly? You've simply been taking advantage of my affection to bully and humiliate me, trampling on my sincere feelings." Su Mushue's face turned pale, wanting to defend herself but unable to find the words. After that day, Su Mushue never came looking for me again. I was glad for the peace and quiet. A few days later, I heard from a former colleague that Su Mushue had married Lu Lingxiao. This was what she meant by "it's over." She changed her mind as soon as she turned away. But for some reason, I felt something wasn't quite right. Because the sincerity Su Mushue showed when she came to find me that day didn't seem fake. She and Lu Lingxiao. Forget it. What does it have to do with me? I heard the two of them were very high profile. Everyone in the hospital knew about it. Moreover, Su Mushue pampered Lu Lingxiao beyond measure. She had their wedding rings custom-made by an international master, costing several million. The wedding banquet was held on the romantic island of Bali. She also bought him a house and car as wedding gifts. Not only that, she even gave him more than half of the hospital's shares. Compared to when we got married, with only a marriage certificate and $2 rings from a street stall. The difference was simply worlds apart. Love or lack of love is actually quite obvious. Beck. As if someone is willing to spend money on you and make you happy, they might not love you. But if they're unwilling to do these things, they definitely don't love you. I don't know if Su Mushue was deliberately trying to upset me, or if she truly loved Lu Lingxiao deeply. But to me now, it stirred no emotions. I remained focused on my career, forging ahead through all obstacles, taking on one difficult case after another. I quickly made a name for myself in the industry. If I hadn't wasted those earlier years, I think my achievements would have been far greater than this. But life has no ifs. Those years of anonymous, silent dedication were worth my sincere efforts. It's never too late for a person to succeed. It just takes more time and energy. Seeing the admiring looks and compliments from colleagues, I tilted my head back and drank the red wine in my glass. At 30 years old, successful in my career, with no worries about food or clothing. How wonderful. After escaping from the celebration banquet, I found a designated driver to take me home to catch up on sleep. But at my doorstep, I saw an uninvited guest. I thought I was seeing things. It was actually Su Mushue. I spoke with some irritation. "Why are you here?" "Ahang." Su Mushue choked up and lunged toward me. Fortunately, I dodged quickly. She missed and fell to the ground, looking at me pitifully. "Ahang, have you really given up on me? Do you know how much I've missed you? Why are you coming back so late? Staying up regularly is bad for your health. Why don't you ever listen?" That fake concerned look in her eyes appeared again. But that's not what she said before. For the sake of performance, she would have preferred me to die in the hospital. When I was so exhausted I couldn't take it anymore and asked her for leave, she berated me, calling me selfish and saying I wasn't worthy of being a doctor. In the end, I barely managed to finish the surgery, then passed out from exhaustion. Looking back now, there were signs all along that she didn't love me. I was just deceiving myself. Just say what you need to say. The less time you waste, the more rest I can get. She hesitated, her eyes brimming with tears. Seeing her affected manner, I had absolutely no patience left. So this is what it feels like to no longer love someone. Everything they do irritates you. I suddenly understood her previous behavior toward me. But I don't accept it. If you don't love someone, don't hurt them, and especially don't use them while hurting them. Don't go Ahong. I regret it. I can't live without you. I smirked. What about Lu Lingxiao? We've already divorced. I only married him to make you angry that you wouldn't come back with me. Now I've finally understood my true feelings. No matter what, I won't let go again. She immediately hugged my legs and cried profusely. Ahung, I truly know I was wrong. Please forgive me. How can I live without you? For the rest of my life, I'll love you with everything I have. I raised an eyebrow in amusement. Life? What kind of vague, filthy thing is that? Su Mushiue, I really didn't expect you to be so adaptable. Hearing the sarcasm in my voice, panic flashed in Su Mushue's eyes. Then she lowered her gaze coquettishly. I just love you too much. That's why I'm desperately begging for your forgiveness, and you're still making fun of me. I pulled her up. She grimaced and hissed in pain. It seems Lu Lingxiao was quite rough with you. How did you know? As her lie was exposed, her face instantly turned pale. There are no walls without gaps. Everyone knows what a mess you've made of the hospital. Even old colleagues with good relationships have complained to me. It's impossible not to know. According to them, Lu Lingxiao became like a different person after marriage. Even more of a boss than Su Mushiue. He did nothing all day but point fingers and give nonsensical orders. The capable colleagues couldn't stand him and resigned one by one to seek better opportunities elsewhere. Not just with employees, Lu Lingxiao would also verbally abuse Su Mushiue without hesitation. Several times, they saw injuries on Su Mushue's face, the kind that couldn't be hidden even under thick layers of powder. So, I suspected Lu Lingxiao had tendencies toward domestic violence. And indeed, that was the case. According to Su Mushiue, after Lu Lingxiao gained money and power, he began to disregard her. He frequently didn't come home at night. After she caught him in bed with someone else, not only did he not restrain himself, but he began playing around with even more women. He took her money and kept 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mistresses outside. As he played more and spent more, women alone could no longer satisfy him. He started gambling and using drugs. When he ran out of money, he would demand it from Su Mushiue and would hit her if she refused. She pulled up her shirt, revealing those horrifying scars. I couldn't bear to look and averted my eyes. She deflated like a punctured balloon, instantly aging several years. You've seen me at my most pathetic state. You must be secretly mocking me for bringing this upon myself. He beat me every day. I couldn't take it anymore, so I asked for a divorce. He said he would only agree if I left with nothing. I had no choice but to agree. Pei Hung, I truly regret it. I was wrong, but I'm really desperate now. I don't know who else to turn to besides you. Please help me, will you? At this moment, she was like a leaf drifting in the wind, about to fall. But what about the pain I suffered? If I hadn't become strong enough myself, that hopeless situation would have been my fate too. Those who deserve pity often deserve contempt as well. Seeing that I wasn't moved, she directly knelt down. Pei Hung, I beg you, save me. I'm homeless now, penniless. You're all I have left. I swear, from now on, I'll only have you, and I'll serve you wholeheartedly. As long as you're willing to take me home, I'll do anything. I sneered, really? Anything. She grabbed onto this lifeline like a drowning person, nodding frantically. Fine, do as I say. I'm not some male saint, nor do I want to waste time on terrible people. In this world, only one person can save you. Seeing the number on the phone, she froze. I froze too. After a moment, Su Mushiue looked at me with hesitation. I can't do this. Once the police report is filed, he'll have a criminal record. If the police find out he's using, his life will be over. The last bit of compassion I had vanished completely. A hint of mischievous cruelty suddenly ignited within me. Didn't you just say you were willing to do anything? And you're already refusing the first thing? She hurriedly waved her hands, explaining. No, I just want to be with you, not harm others. Humph, beaten up like this, and still maintaining a double standard. When they bullied me together it was fine, but when I asked her to defend herself properly, she actually refused. What if he doesn't give up and comes to our home, attacking you and me? Are you willing to sacrifice yourself to protect others? If you die, how can you spend the rest of your life with me? I deliberately emphasized the word die. She trembled in fear, her eyes filled with terror. After struggling for a while, she still refused my suggestion. He's not that kind of person. Once he gets what he wants, he won't come looking for us. From now on, we won't bother each other, and we'll just live our own lives. When people are speechless, they truly do laugh. Su Mushiue, don't come looking for me anymore. This isn't a shelter or a garbage dump. I've already found a way out for you, and if you don't want to take it, there's nothing I can do. But if you dare to harass me again, I will call the police. She stretched out her hand to block the door I was about to close. No, you loved me so much before. How can you just abandon me like this? Can't we just live our lives peacefully? Why must we make things difficult for Lingxiao? He only wanted to indulge himself a bit because he had such a hard time abroad. He hasn't committed any serious mistake. Please let him go. I really have nothing more to say to a lunatic. I dialed 110 directly, and the moment the call went through, Su Mushue's phone rang. I don't know what she heard, but she hurriedly left. I had a strong premonition that she would never come back again, ever. Sure enough, the next day's trending topic. Hashtag to repay debts. Husband sold wife to numerous creditors. Wife beheaded husband. D after unbearable humiliation hashtag. According to media reports, Su Muxue was taken away by Lu Ling Xiao and forced into situations with men who were his creditors. Lu Ling Xiao even assisted them in abusing Su Muxue. Su Muxue was tortured until barely alive. Gathering her last bit of strength, she ended Lu Ling Xiao's life with one strike when he was asleep. Blood splattered across her face, stimulating her nerves. It seemed to give her strength. Then, like cutting watermelons, she killed each of the creditors who had humiliated her with one slash. Finally, she collapsed in a pool of blood, smiling. She murmured, "Retribution, it's all retribution." It's unclear whether she was referring to herself or others. But none of this has anything to do with me.